Nearly 70% of Americans over the age of 60 take magnesium, vitamin D3, K2, B6, and zinc every single day. They believe that taking all the right supplements should make them feel better. But why? Are they still struggling with sleepless nights, heart flutters, aching joints, and constant mental fatigue? Are you in the same situation? You've taken everything correctly, yet your body doesn't seem to be improving. In fact, maybe it's even getting worse. There's a chance you might be missing one critical piece of the puzzle. Magnesium, when taken at the wrong time, can cause diarrhea and exhaustion. Vitamin D3 cannot be activated without enough magnesium. Without K2, calcium may end up hardening your arteries instead of strengthening your bones. Too much B6 over time can quietly damage your nerves. And an imbalance in zinc can disrupt your immune system. The very nutrients you believe are helping you could actually be weighing your body down silently. This video will reveal 6 common mistakes that make your supplements ineffective or even harmful. You'll learn the best time to take each one, how to combine them properly, and early warning signs that your metabolism may already be off track. If you've ever taken everything right but still felt no improvement, comment below. That's me too, so I know you're here. Keep watching because I'm about to reveal a surprisingly simple solution you may have never considered. Have you ever taken magnesium at night, only to wake up feeling even more exhausted the next morning? That was Linda's story. She's 66, retired, and used to be very active. She started taking magnesium every evening to help with sleep. But instead of feeling refreshed, she woke up groggy with an upset stomach and no energy throughout the day. She kept telling herself, "It's magnesium, it's supposed to help." But here's the truth. Not all magnesium is the same. And the way you use it, timing, dosage, and form makes all the difference. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. It affects muscle contractions, stress regulation in the brain, and how your cells produce energy. But what few people mention is that magnesium is a system-sensitive nutrient. It only works well if your body is in the right condition to absorb and use it. Take it at the wrong time, and it may interfere with your sleep. Take the wrong form, and you might experience diarrhea, digestive issues, or disrupted absorption of calcium and zinc. Let's clarify a few forms. Magnesium citrate helps with digestion, but can be too harsh for long-term use in seniors. Magnesium glycinate is gentler, bound to glycine, and calms the nervous system, improving sleep quality. Magnesium threonate is a special form that crosses the blood-brain barrier and supports memory and focus. Linda had been using magnesium citrate, and that explained all her symptoms. Once she switched to magnesium glycinate, taken 1 to 2 hours before bed in a quiet, dim environment, her sleep began to improve and so did her energy. But magnesium doesn't work in isolation. It's the quiet partner that activates. Vitamin D3 regulates the stress response and helps restore adrenal balance. As we age, chronic stress depletes magnesium faster, while our ability to absorb it decreases. Even if you're eating leafy greens and taking supplements, magnesium might still not reach your cells, especially if your gut health is off or you're taking it at the wrong time. So what can you do? If you struggle with sleep or anxiety, try magnesium glycinate 200 to 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium before bed. If your goal is mental clarity, take magnesium threonate in the early afternoon. Avoid combining it with meals rich in calcium or zinc, as they compete for absorption. And remember, magnesium works best when you support it with healthy habits, sunlight, movement, hydration, and a nourishing diet. If you're still watching and this section has helped you, Comment below, "I messed up with magnesium, so I know you're here with me." And don't miss what's coming next. We're diving into a very common vitamin that, without enough magnesium, silently builds up and puts your arteries at serious risk. If you're still watching and found the magnesium section helpful, I'd love for you to comment below, "I've taken D3 too," because the next few minutes might shift the way you look at one of the most recommended vitamins in the world. You've heard it 1,000 times. Vitamin D3 is good for your bones, your immune system, and even your mood. But here's what no one tells you. If your magnesium is low, your D3 may be doing absolutely nothing. Worse, it might even be harming you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever taken vitamin D3 consistently, yet still felt tired, foggy, or emotionally flat? Have you had your D levels tested and been told they're fine, but something still feels off? The hidden reason might just be this: your body can't activate vitamin D3 without magnesium. When you swallow a D3 supplement or get it from sunlight, it enters your bloodstream in an inactive form. To convert it into its active, usable form called calcitriol, your body needs 3 different enzymes, and all of them depend on magnesium to work. Without enough magnesium, D3 builds up in the blood, showing a false normal on lab tests. But deep inside your cells, nothing is happening. You're pouring gas into the tank, but the ignition is broken. And that's where the silent danger begins. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people with low magnesium were far more likely to have abnormal D3 levels either too low or too high despite supplementation. And when D3 builds up without being used, it creates calcium chaos. It tells your gut to absorb more calcium, but without guidance from K2 or activation from magnesium. That calcium can float into soft tissues, your arteries, kidneys, or joints. That's when people start noticing subtle warning signs: tight chest, joint stiffness, muscle cramping, or even kidney stone symptoms. These signs don't always scream danger, but they whisper that something isn't right. Here's how you can get ahead of the curve. Start with timing. Take vitamin D3 in the morning, ideally with a fat-containing meal. Your body is naturally primed to process D3 earlier in the day, when cortisol is rising and sunlight exposure would normally trigger D production. Next, check your magnesium intake. You'll need at least 300 to 400 milligrams per day to support proper D3 metabolism. Think dark leafy greens, almonds, pumpkin seeds, or a supplement like magnesium glycinate or threonate, depending on your needs. And third, don't forget the synergy. D3 needs its partners magnesium for activation, K2 for direction. On their own, they're incomplete. Together, they're transformative. Ask yourself, how long have I been taking vitamin D3 without checking if it's actually working? Could it be the missing link in your energy, your immune function, your peace of mind? What you choose to do with that insight is up to you. But what's coming next could be even more important. Because if D3 opens the calcium floodgates, vitamin K2 decides where it goes. And if you get that wrong, the consequences could silently build up for years. Do you remember the example we used earlier, how vitamin D3 acts like the door that lets calcium in? Now it's time to talk about the traffic controller, the one who decides where that calcium goes. That's vitamin K2. You may have overlooked it, or perhaps confused it with K1, but here's the truth. A lack of K2 is the silent gap that could lead to arterial calcification, kidney stones, joint stiffness, or even stroke, even if you think you're supplementing correctly. When you take D3, your body absorbs more calcium. But where does that calcium end up? With enough K2, it gets directed to your bones and teeth exactly where it belongs. But if you're low on K2, that calcium starts depositing in your arteries, joints, kidneys, and soft tissues, slowly hardening areas that should stay flexible. And the scariest part, this can go on for years without obvious symptoms. Have you ever heard of aortic calcification? It's not just an aging issue, it's often the result of high-dose D3 taken without K2. A 2015 study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that vitamin D3 without K2 significantly increased arterial stiffness, a key marker for serious heart disease. Maybe you're thinking, but I take calcium and D3 and eat clean, so why are my joints still aching, my chest feeling tight, and my blood pressure creeping up? These could be your body's subtle signals warning you that your calcium is going the wrong way, and you need to act before real damage sets in. The solution is simple but powerful. Take vitamin K2 in the MK7 form, ideally 100 to 200 mcg daily. MK7 stays longer in the bloodstream and provides steady support for calcium regulation. Pair it with your morning D3 dose during a meal that contains healthy fats for better absorption. Just one well-placed piece K2 can turn calcium chaos into calcium construction. Instead of harming your blood vessels, calcium can go back to building strong bones where it truly belongs. But we're not done yet. There's still one more nutrient seemingly small, but absolutely critical. It's the neurological activator, and when taken in excess, it can quietly damage your nerves and even cause numbness in your fingertips. It's vitamin B6, and in the next part, you'll learn why the wrong dose might be silently hurting your nervous system every day. Imagine your nervous system as a delicate web of electric wires. Every signal from your brain, heart, or muscles depends on smooth, precise transmission. And to keep those wires working properly, vitamin B6 plays the role of a quiet technician. When you don't get enough, your system slows down. But when you take too much, it becomes a silent destroyer, especially for those over 60. Here's a fact that surprises many: vitamin B6 is the only water-soluble vitamin that can cause nerve toxicity when taken incorrectly or in excess, and most people have no doubt. The damage isn't immediate. It builds slowly over time, tingling in your fingertips, numbness, a crawling sensation in your feet, balance problems, unexplained nerve pain. These symptoms are often blamed on normal aging, but in reality, they could be signs of long-term B6 overuse. Many multivitamins and joint or nerve supplements contain very high doses of B6, sometimes 10 to 20 times the daily requirement. If you're taking multiple supplements and doing so daily for 6 months or a year, the risk of nerve damage increases dramatically, especially if your body is more sensitive due to age or genetics. Have you ever woken up with numb fingers, felt a strange prickling in your feet when putting on socks, or felt unusually foggy or unsteady, even though you eat well and take your vitamins? These could be whispers from your nervous system, warning you of B6-related nerve dysfunction. If left unaddressed, it may eventually lead to permanent peripheral nerve damage. The solution isn't to stop B6 entirely, but to understand and manage the dosage wisely. Experts recommend that older adults get about 1,005 to 2 milligrams of B6 per day total, from both food and supplements combined. That means checking every supplement label you take, especially multivitamins, to make sure you're not accidentally going way over the limit. And if you're currently using B6 for mood, sleep, or nerve support, try pairing it with nutrients like magnesium and zinc, which enhance its benefits without requiring high doses. Speaking of zinc, it's the next piece of the puzzle. Zinc is a master regulator of immune balance, metabolism, and tissue repair. But when it's out of balance, it can trigger a cascade of problems involving digestion, blood sugar, and the nervous system. If you're still watching and finding this information helpful, type the number 1 in the comments so I know you're here with me. Because up next is a small but incredibly important nutrient, zinc, the silent conductor of your immune system, metabolism, and tissue repair. Zinc is an essential mineral that supports over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. It affects taste, wound healing, blood sugar control, hormone balance, and most importantly, keeps your immune system functioning properly. But for those over 60, zinc absorption from food gradually declines, while the need for it increases due to chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and reduced digestive function. Many older adults experience things like loss of appetite, frequent lingering colds, slow healing wounds, or unusual hair loss and never suspect zinc deficiency. A study from Tufts University found that nearly 45% of Americans over age 65 have suboptimal zinc levels, weakening their immune defenses and increasing inflammation, especially in the lungs and digestive tract. But zinc supplementation isn't as simple as just taking more. Long-term high doses above 40 milligrams per day can actually suppress copper levels, another critical nutrient for nerve protection and red blood cell production. This imbalance may lead to fatigue, anemia, digestive issues, or tingling in the hands and feet symptoms, often misattributed to aging, but in reality caused by improper zinc use. So, what's the right amount? For people over 60, the safe and effective range is about 8 to 11 milligrams per day from food and/or supplements. Look for more absorbable forms like zinc picolinate or zinc citrate. Always take zinc after a meal and avoid taking it alongside high-dose iron or calcium supplements, which can compete for absorption. Here's a sign many people miss. If you tend to get mild diarrhea when taking magnesium, your body might be lacking zinc, which helps maintain microbiome balance. A well-balanced zinc intake can stabilize digestion, improve appetite, and boost tissue repair, especially after injury or surgery. Right after zinc, we'll uncover something even more overlooked: timing. Because even if you're taking all the right vitamins, doing it at the wrong time of day can make them ineffective or worse, cause hormonal imbalance. Keep watching, because up next, we'll explore a surprising factor most people overlook: timing. Even if you're taking all the right vitamins, if you take them at the wrong time, they may not work as intended or worse, disrupt your body's natural balance. Let's uncover how syncing your supplements with your body's internal clock can make all the difference. Have you ever taken all the right supplements, but still felt tired, sleepless, or unable to focus? The issue might not be what you're taking, but when you're taking it. Our bodies don't operate the same way 24 hours a day. Every organ, every system follows its own circadian rhythm, like a symphony where each instrument plays at just the right moment. If you take your supplements at the wrong time, even the best ones may be poorly absorbed or worse, disrupt your digestion, hormones, or sleep cycle. Take vitamin D3, for example, often called the sunshine vitamin. It works best when taken in the morning, right after a meal that includes some fat. That's when your body is mimicking sunlight. Your cortisol levels naturally rise, and the enzymes that activate D3 are most active. But if you take D3 at night, it might interfere with melatonin production, making it harder for you to fall asleep. On the flip side, magnesium should ideally be taken at night, about 1 to 2 hours before bed. That's when your nervous system begins to shift into rest mode, and magnesium can help regulate your heart rate, relax your muscles, and support natural melatonin release. If taken during the day, especially in forms like magnesium citrate, which can act as a laxative, it may cause drowsiness, fatigue, or even digestive upset. Zinc, on the other hand, is best taken after a main meal, preferably lunch or dinner, when your stomach isn't too empty. Avoid taking it with calcium or iron, as they can compete for absorption. Poor timing with zinc often leads to side effects like nausea, stomach discomfort, or constipation and wastes the supplement's potential benefits. But here's the deeper truth. These nutrients don't act alone. They function as a system. Taking the right supplements at the wrong time is like playing the right notes out of sync in a song. Instead of boosting your energy, it leaves you feeling off, tired, or unchanged despite your best efforts. Now you have a clearer roadmap to match your supplements with your body's natural rhythm. Think of your mornings as a time to energize, ideal for D3, K2, and B6. Evenings are for repair and recovery, perfect for magnesium, zinc, and calming routines. But there's one last layer that's rarely mentioned. Every body is different. If you've been supplementing consistently and still don't feel better, the issue might be your dosage or sequence. In the next section, we'll explore how to listen to your body's signals and adjust your routine to fit your personal biology so you can stop guessing and finally start feeling real results. You've just walked with me through a journey that few people are ever warned about. From the dangers of taking magnesium, D3K2 incorrectly, to the overlooked power of timing today, you've seen that taking supplements isn't as simple as just take more and you'll feel better. It requires awareness, precision, and alignment with your body's unique rhythm. I know that for many people over 60, health isn't just a personal matter. It's about staying independent, staying sharp, and holding on to the hope of living fully with your children and grandchildren. That's exactly why I created this video, so you don't have to feel lost in the sea of confusing advice. If what I've shared today helped you feel seen, understood, or even just a little more in control of your health, I would be deeply grateful if you could support this channel by liking, commenting, or sharing this video with someone you love. And if you feel moved to contribute even a small amount, like the cost of a cup of coffee, you can find a donation link in the video description. Every gesture of support helps me continue creating thoughtful, trustworthy content for this community. Have you been taking these nutrients? Have they helped, or have you ever felt unsure about why your health wasn't improving? Share your story in the comments because your experience might just inspire the next video.